John glanced at his watch, the seconds ticking away slowly. 11:57 p.m. Almost time for the red-eye flight to take off. He adjusted his seat, the hum of the plane's engine a dull roar in the background, a constant reminder of the journey ahead. Denver to Tokyo, a long flight spanning continents and oceans. He pulled out his notepad, a story idea nagging at the back of his mind, refusing to be ignored. The lights dimmed, plunging the cabin into darkness, signaling the start of the overnight journey. Passengers settled into their seats. John closed his eyes, trying to ignore the growing unease in his gut, a feeling he couldn't shake off. Something felt off. The air, thick and heavy, seemed to press down on him. A sudden jolt, oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling, a stark contrast to the calm moments before. Turbulence, but different this time. More violent, shaking the plane with an intensity that was unsettling. Passengers stirred, fear etched on their faces, whispers of concern filling the cabin. John gripped his armrest, heart pounding in his chest, each beat echoing the turbulence outside. The plane lurched again, throwing John against his seat. He heard screams. A woman sobbed uncontrollably. Panic swelled through the cabin. He fumbled for the call button. No answer. Silence. He looked around. Passengers sat frozen, eyes vacant, whispering to themselves. Their words, unintelligible, sent shivers down his spine. A cold dread gripped him. This was not normal turbulence. John unbuckled his seatbelt, his gaze drawn to the front of the plane. The cockpit door stood ajar. Empty, no pilots, no attendants, just the eerie glow of the instrument panel. He peered into the cockpit, his heart pounding in his chest. A chill ran down his spine as if the temperature had suddenly dropped. The navigation screen displayed a string of nonsensical symbols. Numbers flickered erratically, creating an eerie, almost supernatural atmosphere. He was no pilot, but this was wrong, dangerously wrong. The instruments were going haywire, and he had no idea what to do. He turned back to the cabin, hoping to find some semblance of normalcy. A figure stood at the back, shrouded in shadow, almost blending into the darkness. It moved closer, gliding unnaturally, as if it were floating rather than walking. John's breath caught in his throat, his eyes widening in terror. The figure, a man in a tattered uniform, his face pale and gaunt, looked like he had stepped out of a nightmare. John stumbled back, fear paralyzing him, his mind racing with questions and dread. The figure leaned in, whispering in a voice raspy and cold, "We're almost there." "Where?" John's blood ran cold, his voice barely a whisper. There was nowhere to go, no escape from this flying coffin. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks. John woke with a gasp, his heart pounding in his chest. The plane was gone, vanished into thin air, swallowed by the clouds. He found himself in a hospital bed, hooked to machines that beeped and whirred. Doctors explained it away as hypoxia, hallucinations brought on by lack of oxygen. But John knew the truth. He had experienced something beyond explanation. He had seen it, felt it, the cold, eerie sensation of being somewhere else. Newspapers called it a freak incident, a mystery that baffled experts. Flight 1047 lost over the Pacific, no wreckage, no survivors, just whispers and theories that grew wilder each day. Some spoke of a ghost plane, a harbinger of death appearing in the night sky. John sat alone in his apartment, haunted by the memory of that night, unable to shake the feeling of dread. He knew they were still up there, trapped in that metal coffin, their faces etched in his mind. Forever suspended between heaven and earth, lost to the clouds, their fate a chilling enigma.